I know Matt talks about this all the time. I see him on Facebook stirring up the drama.
Oh, okay, boomer. Facebook.
A parts kit built by skilled American hands is probably going to be a better AK than you could have bought imported. That's just the way it is.
Welcome back to Whiskey and Windage, to a podcast for the people, by the people. I'm your host, Adam, joined along with my co-hosts, Mike and Matt. Gentlemen, how are we doing on this fine day?
Man, I'm doing good. No complaints. Excited about this show. I don't know, Matt, why don't you talk a little bit about it?
I'm pretty excited about this show. We're going to have some guests that are friends of the show, have been for a while now. They were on a little bit earlier this year. There's got another huge event coming up, so it's a little more time sensitive. So it's going to kind of jump the line. We're going to push back a little bit some of that content. The couple of shows that we did while we were all in Nashville at Mike's place, which is a little bit of a bummer. It's kind of bittersweet, but that's going to be really, really good content. So I'm excited for this show. I'm excited for those shows to come out still too.
Yeah. Before you let the cat out of the bag, I guess we can go ahead and we can kind of let one of the hosts or one of the shows out of the bag.
It's going to be a pretty good show, I think.
Sure.
We can do all kinds of stuff to keep it under wraps, but the people might guess.
I don't know, man. I think they might be able to get something on there.
They might be able to.
Yeah.
Guys, well, with that being said, today's going to be a great show. We have none other than Klay and Rachel Owens, the Duke and Duchess of the AK world.
Oh, it's very nice.
Very nice. And it actually looks like they're about to jump in right now, so with no further ado, let's go.
Let's go, dude.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
And for our 2A spotlight, we are excited to bring back a former guest of the show and also his wife. So we want to give a warm welcome to some random Ostrich and Timmy the Tooth, Klay and Rachel Owens. How are you guys doing?
How did you guys know about the ostrich joke? Is my first question.
I was talking
we know
to
everything
about it.
We know. Hey, we've got ears, man. I keep my ears to the streets.
We are on the internet everywhere.
Oh man,
I'm pretty sure we can also
we can definitely
make
edit
a
all
picture
out. But
No, it's fine. It's all good because I hear it all the time from him.
I don't think I told anyone that joke.
We
That's
roast
pretty good.
each other
so
all the time.
So when I was talking to Rachel and she was talking on the Whiskey and Windage IG and she was telling me all these things, she said, yeah, here's who Klay thinks I look like. And I get this picture of just an ostrich looking at me. And I'm like, man, how do you say anything nice? I mean, no, this isn't what you look like, but I mean, I don't know. And then when she sends the Timmy the Tooth, I'm like, man, I really want to be friends with these people, so I can't laugh at anything.
Like in the words of Bard, if she does not like, she can go away, or I crush her.
You.
Awesome. Oh man, I'm so glad you guys have a sense of humor. I'm happy that you guys are here. The last time that we had Klay on the show was back in March, and you were here to talk about Kalashbash. And in retrospect, it looks like it was a great hit again this year. How do you both? I guess we got Rachel here too. How do you guys think it went?
It went great. We saw a lot of new faces, which was awesome, and just hearing so much good, positive feedback about it. I mean, every year you learn something new, like what you could do better or other things, but. Klay, I'll let you take over, but that's how I feel about it.
Awesome.
But it was awesome. Mm-hmm.
I wish Brandon Herrera would have spent a bit more time with me, so I kind of got my feelings hurt. Other than that, I think it was.
There? Was he there?
Yeah, he goes every year, and guy freaking big leagued me, man. I
But he was
didn't
too
know
cool
me.
to
I'm
hang
kind
out
of
this
getting tired
year.
of it. So, Brandon, if you're watching this, come find me next time.
He won't.
I serious.
Don't worry, he won't.
No, for real
Don't
though.
worry, he won't.
It was awesome. Brandon's great. Love seeing him out there. It was the highest turnout we've ever had. We had 1,000 people out there. So it turned out great. And I thank you guys for giving us a platform to tell more people about it. I'm sure that translated in more people coming out. So I appreciate that. And man, the match was great. No, way more than that. The match was great. We crowned a lot of champions, broke a lot of hearts. That spinner, what was it? The spinner at 100 yards, the guys with PCC cried about it.
Man.
But the good news about that, we were right in the middle of a drought, so we could use the moisture. So we like it when they cry at the match.
Yes.
It was awesome.
You got a trophy. I saw you got a trophy at your own event. How'd that happen?
Oh, not at my event. No. These are from other people's matches.
I thought there was a picture of you. Maybe it was you giving one out. I was like, dang, he got a trophy. Like, dang, he came in and invited people and then took their money. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm gonna take your cookies, man. I got
He's
you.
like, look at all this stuff I won off the prize table.
I would have done that.
Hey, I entered. Yeah, no, that would be such a bad look. But yeah, the prizes we gave out were great. We had over 120K on the prize table, and every bit of it went to randos or people that won the match, people that had the best costumes, the LARPers.
Oh, the LARPers were the best.
Pee Wee Herman came out and just cleaned house. I think he won like 2 guns, and he left his bike there and like gave it to the range owner's son. It's still there today. It was bad to the bone, man. We had I think the crowning jewel of Kalashbash this year was something that my business partner got to do. His boyhood dream, Tony of Kyber Customs, was to throw his own concert. And holy balls, did we throw a concert. We had a Slipknot cover band that if I didn't tell you they were a cover band, you would have thought that was the real shit on stage.
Oh, hell.
And they were amazing. We had a Rage Against the Machine cover band that's the best cover in Texas. And dude,
I love Rage.
I'm telling you, blew the lid off the place. People thought that the Slipknot band was the real band. Like, it was amazing. And then OK Kevin took us in to the wee hours with the house music. And dude, this big, huge professional stage, like, I didn't even really know that's what we were booking. Like, I'd seen the invoices and I talked to the people, but when it was set up, I was like, oh my God, we spent way too much money on this. And it turned out to be great, dude. The crown, I think the happiest moment of my life, a guy LARPed as Borat, like a good one.
Oh,
yeah. And I watched him mosh in the middle of a Slipknot song. And I was like, I will never forget that moment. Nope. I'm going to tell my grandkids I got Borat to mosh to Slipknot at our campsite one year.
Man, I want to ask, it was did your boy from, where was he? Was he from Germany? Who was the guy that always does
the furthest travel?
Pascal.
He comes from Cologne, Germany every year. This year, he showed up. This year we had a guy from Switzerland that was like 30 miles farther away than Pascal, and he actually beat Pascal out of the farthest travel.
Oh man. I knew, like, when we talked, you were like, we're pretty sure Pascal's going to be the guy. And
Pascal was the guy that told us about the guy. He's like, I'm sorry, but this year I cannot win. He lives in Switzerland. He is 30 miles farther than me. I'm like, oh, out yourself, dude.
Man, that's so honest.
Yeah, but honestly, that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. I had a lot of friends that attended. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to, even though I'm really close. I feel a little guilty about it because I'm in San Antonio. But
you're very close.
Yes, I'm very close. But next year, I think we've been talking, Mike and Matt, and I think we have a couple shows on the radar after SHOT Show for next year that we want to attend. And I can tell you, Kalashbash is very high on the list of where we want to be next year.
Heck yeah!
Well, I'll have a proposition for you then. You guys know the guys over at Big Tex Ordnance, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what they did in the past that I think you guys would just crush. At Lethal Weapons last year, they brought their podcast equipment, and there's so many people on site, YouTube personalities, names in the industry that are all there for like 3 days. They lined up like 9 podcasts in our clubhouse. That's nice and quiet, controlled area. They were doing like hour-long podcasts all day long and just banking that stuff. So if you guys wanted to do something like that, we have an area that's great for that on site. If you want to book people ahead of time,
guys, for sure.
We'd love to, just because it's kind of like sports. It's kind of like the radio row. I mean, you just kind of have everybody there, so when the people come in, they can stop if they have the time and talk to each little podcast for 15, 20 minutes and move on. And that's super cool. We'd love that.
I think that's definitely in the works, and we'll talk more about that offline. But I think that's something that we would love to do and make there for that, because there's a couple shows we've been looking at. Honestly, like Kalashbash is like very, like, that was like one of the top one we talked about was Kalashbash for next year.
It looks like
you got to go at least once in your life, dude. To fully understand the feeling, you have to go at least once.
It's like
Burning Man for AK Goons.
I'm just going to need some help. I'm going to need some help with a costume. Y'all are going to have to guide me in something.
Dude, just take your shirt off. You're Burt Kreschner. You're good.
Yeah,
Like-
go Bert
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Dude, we went to the GOA show in Knoxville, and some lady asked to stop and take a picture with me. And at that time, the beard had just gotten out, and she said, "You look exactly like Bert Kreischer. I know you're not him, but can I please take a picture and send it to all my friends because they'll think you're him?" And I was just like,
Love it.
"Thank you,
That's
thank you."
super funny.
Yeah.
So, was there any hard lessons learned again this year, or was it mostly
dude,
little
every year.
lessons?
every year.
I learned putting on a concert is honestly way harder than just an event. So doing them both at the same time, I don't know that I ever want to do that again. So that was a ton of work. Dude, every year you learn something, like could use a few more bathrooms there, could have a few more generators over there. There's always something, but I think it gave me a ton of respect just for concert promoters. Knowing if people do that for a living, like you're booking several like small venues that book concerts like every weekend, comedy shows, people that book that kind of stuff. I got a little taste of that, and man, I have like a whole different respect for concert promoters.
Yeah.
Like that's an art I just dipped my toe into, and I don't know if I want to go back to it.
Perfect. Great. I'm glad it wasn't too many super, really, really hard lessons that you had to learn this year, Clay.
Very cool. But I want to jump into something because Rachel, once welcome to the show, first time
Thank
on,
you.
and we've been watching your content, big fan, and I know Facebook, Instagram, you're doing all kinds of content which I
Doing
love.
it.
You're empowering women, and you're out there running, gunning, and you're doing awesome. But like lately, I'm kind of confused. I feel like I see you, but then it's like an alter ego kind of thing going on. What's going on with this alter ego?
Well, her name's Svetlana. She is my Russian cousin from Russia,
Why won't we?
and she is a straight biatch. What
Clay
happened was
perked up.
Ooh, mommy.
Clay perked up. He
yeah.
must like her.
Hey, before
No,
the
she
Russian
likes-
sanctions, when she could visit, I was a much happier guy. But
no,
it's been
she
harder
likes
for her to.
Ivan. She
It's been
likes
harder
Ivan.
for her to come in.
But yeah, so I feel like everyone loves her. Like they're like, Svetlana needs to come back. And so I mean, we're getting close to the winter time, fall, and I'm like, I guess I'll go dye my hair red again. So apparently
And
she's
Svetlana
back.
happened by accident. That whole thing happened by accident. How many years ago was that? Like 4 years ago almost?
It was
So,
2021.
yeah, who
right after
created
COVID.
Svetlana?
Dude,
We were at a gun show.
Yeah, you remember.
We were at a gun show, and there was this Russian veteran there, and he had all these Yushankas. I was like, Clay, that's a real Yushanka. I want one. And so I got one, and he got one the next day because he was back at the gun show. And I mean, I went online. I bought this really cool, unique Adidas tracksuit. It was like a wetsuit. It's made out of like leather. And I was like, I feel like I can do something with this. And then the same time, I was going through a phase, I guess, I want to dye my hair red. So I dyed it like a really like bright red at that time. And we were at the range one day, and we were just like, this is such a cool background. Let's do some filming. So we did. And we had Crinky out there, the full auto crink. And we just filmed, and I'm like, okay, well, I think this is great. And then I posted pictures online. People were like, love it. She needs to start being a character all the time. So
Yeah, it was
That's how
supposed to
it
be
is.
for like a 2-minute opening scene in a Crink review.
yeah.
Like an
I went crazy.
AK-74U.
All
I was like, oh, it'd be cool. Where are those Adidas at? You kind of have this Russian look, and you'll pose with the Crink, and then we'll be done with it. So the video was like 17 minutes long. She's in it for 2 minutes. Nobody gave a shit about the Crink. All the comments were nothing but whoever that was, more of that. We want
Bring
more
her back.
Svetlana,
More
whatever that
Svetlana.
character was. Nobody
That's
cared
awesome.
about the Crink, and I'm like, damn, babe, we should try this. So we did a video where you went out and competed against a bunch of Americans, and it was like
Oh,
Russian girl versus dumb Americans.
see
and she
that
keeps
video,
like
man.
sneaking cigarettes and sneaking like shots of vodka on the range without the RO seeing her. And it just sort of snowballed. And then she went away for a little while and finally decided that the character should come back. And dude, I don't know. There's just something about it I love. She doesn't speak on camera because
Mhm.
her Russian accent is not very good. So we've just kept the stoic, dead silent, just like resting bitch face character. And I love it. I love filming the Svetlana character.
Yeah, a lot of people love her.
Awesome.
No.
That's
Something,
so cool.
yeah, I was going to say something. I want to say that it kind of goes back to your first episode, Clay, when you came on, and it definitely translates now that Rachel's here. Is that I'm not the AK guy. I'm not the AK goon. I appreciate the platform. You know, I want to own as many. You know, my next. I can go ahead and put it on record. My next full auto I'm building is going to be an AK.
Ooh.
But yeah, but it's what I definitely want to, I guess, highlight on this is that the AK guys and gals are really for each other. It doesn't matter. That whole community that you guys have, it doesn't matter if I'm coming at, let's just say I'm coming at you, Clay, with a legit argument and I'm actually winning the argument. And I'm telling you why something is better. If the other AK guys hear about it, even if they know, like, hey, okay, I think Clay's kind of outdone in this one, they still have your back, and they'll still admit, like, yeah, even though you're right, we don't care. AK's better, and we don't care what you say. And that's just really, I'm giving flowers for the community that is such, because it's really amazing to see. You don't see that with any other platform, whether it be pistols, rifles, retro stuff, anything. The AK definitely has its following, and that community definitely has each other's back.
Yeah. And I do see it that way too. That people can be mean on an AK
I was going to
platform,
say, I think on Instagram and YouTube that definitely gives that perception.
Yeah, Reddit hits a vile
and Facebook
place.
are horrible places. Reddit and Facebook are horrible. People are mean.
Yes,
Well, I mean, Matt had
they off Reddit, but everybody goes on Reddit.
Matt knows that because, like, we had Andrew from Syndicus on, and he's building more modern day AKs, and Matt went on there and said some stuff, and Matt got tore up.
I'm frozen pretty good. If
I knew I was going to.
They're mean. They can be mean. But Clay's so good at like treating everyone so nice, and I'm like, oh God, I can't believe you said that, And Clay's just so nice to people, and he's just like, kill him with kindness. That's what you can do. And I'm so bad at that. He's so great at it.
You just recently put out a video. By the time this clears, it'll be a couple weeks old, but that you sat down and did with Jacob from AK Quality Enforcement, and you guys touched on it.
The Instagrammer formerly known as AK Quality Enforcement.
The Instagram. Formerly known as AK Quality Enforcement. Oh no. But it was touching on Kusa a bit. And I know that we have to tread lightly here, and so I'm gonna not try and say too much at all. But is it done? Is it kaput? Has the call been made?
I heard that it was called Klayco47 now. Is there any truth to that?
Listen, to answer your question about the Klayco47 thing, allegedly, if they did call it that, maybe they would have slightly better of a snowball's chance in hell of coming back. I'm just saying, because it's a good name.
Hell yeah.
But what I can't say about all that, everything that was said in that video is totally true, and it's mainly me just talking about my personal experience with Klayco47, because there has been so much happening with that company over the past 2 years, from regime changes 4 times over, owners coming and going, mainly like upper management, VPs of marketing, CEOs coming and going. It's like a revolving door, and it seemed like with every regime change, things kind of trickled down and got worse after the Mossberg and Bill Gentry era of Klayco47, when they were really at their peak, when we started working with them at events. But man, where they are right now, I don't try to get information anymore.
Yeah.
But a lot of information was coming in, and right before we made that video, the last bit of information we got, which is why we decided, let's make the video, because they're done. They were working on like the 4th entity trying to sell the company, and it had fallen through. It's like the four times over. PSA, Sentry, a company I'm not allowed to talk about, and then a 4th company that nobody knows turned them down. At that point, we had under like perfect assured authority that they were going up to it was like scheduled for a Monday morning, a liquidation sale. And this has been scheduled like 3 times over, and it keeps getting pushed back. because they're really trying to sell this thing outright. Once we heard it was just going to get moved to liquidation and that fourth buyer backed out, I had been holding that story for so long because there were still people there that I cared about, dudes that didn't make any of those decisions, guys and girls that honestly were just there trying to do the right thing. I'm like, God, the last thing I want to do is put this story out there. It's going to cause drama. I don't want it hurting people that still work there that are trying to have a job that I'm still cool with. Once all those people quit and left, and we got word that the fourth and final potential buyer is out,
the gloves.
We released it.
Yeah, gloves.
Last I heard, there's another potential buyer, but if they do sell it, data packs are not involved. The name KUSA is not involved. But what I can say, I have to tread very lightly here, is Jacob, AK Quality, he's changed his name to I think his new Instagram's AK Arsenal. Let's just say he was contacted like a day before that video went live and was basically told, if certain names come out of your mouth anymore, if certain things come out of your mouth anymore, expect to get served, expect to get sued. So, I mean, he panicked, and we almost didn't air the video because I didn't want Jacob to get in trouble. And I said, listen, dude, I'll cut out anything that you're uncomfortable with, and I'm going to tell my story. No one's going to sue me for telling the truth. I've got contracts to back up everything I've ever said. I've got no skeletons to hide. And everything, a lot of stuff we talked about was public knowledge. And man, after that video, he said, dude, I'm never talking about this company again. After that phone call, he's like, I'm scared, man. I got kids. I don't want that smoke. I'm not going to be the guy people come to anymore with their AK drama. I just want to focus on the positivity. And I kind of feel the same way, man. I told my KUSA story. Nothing good is going to come out of it. It's just what happened. And I don't think that company's ever coming back the way we know it. The people that were there that really cared, they're all gone. So even if KUSA came back, all the best parts, all the good ones, they're gone.
Yeah.
So even if it came back, what do you really have? It's not what it used to be. So that's really all I can say about that.
Well, I mean, that's interesting. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was going to say, I own a Comrade. I bought it just because I love the Comrade name. I was like, I got to have a Comrade. So I bought a Comrade. Whether or not it shoots great, it's up for debate. But aside from that, like the Kalashnikov name, I mean, this is not, I'm not an AK guy, so correct me where I'm wrong. This is not anywhere in any way, shape, or form affiliated with Mikhail Kalashnikov. This is just using his name and adding USA at the end, which on the front end was a great thing. I mean, it's great branding. I mean, it'd be like Sony USA or whatever. It's great branding, but at the end of the day, it's another gun company, and I'll say it's the equivalent to AAC. So let's shit on Kevin a little bit here for a minute. And so Kevin sold AAC to Remington. Remington drove it into the ground. Then it just kind of
scooped it up.
Yeah, it just sat there for a while, and for what he sold it for was a couple hundred, 100 million more or less, and PSA bought it for a couple million and scooped it up and revived it. And what I truly hope, with no knowledge of anything that's going on here, I haven't heard anything from Klay, I haven't heard anything from Rachel, I haven't heard anything from anybody here. What I hope, though, is that we don't need less gun companies in the Second Amendment in the two-way community. We don't need shitty gun companies, but we need, the more the merrier. The more you give people that opportunity to have the selection of, ooh, I identify with this kind of gun because I like that better, or I like this name, or I like this whatever. Who am I to say? But I hope that it does get revived one day. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to make sure, like, there's no ties whatsoever to the Kalashnikov name other than the name itself on a trademark somewhere in the USA.
Man, I'm even afraid to talk about that.
All right, cool. We don't even want to talk about that.
Definitely don't. So, I mean, but here's my question.
It's common knowledge that RWG, Matt knows that name. All the Sagas, all the Russian AKs, other than the Vepers, all those Sagas that came in the country were imported. Any Saga you buy, it'll say RWG Group on the side. That was the importer. That same entity that owned RWG after the sanctions formed KUSA. And that's common knowledge. Yeah. It's the same people. Did they have ties to Russia? Probably. They were importing Russian AKs for years and years and years before that.
Yeah.
So it's like so steeped in mystery, and everyone that has worked there before, be it VPs or whoever, they're all afraid to talk about it, and I don't blame them. After that call that Jacob got, like, I understand why so much of that was like people are just afraid to talk about it. People don't want to talk about anything Russian going on with KUSA.
Topic.
It's I don't know. It's just so wrapped up in, I guess, people that you just don't want to be involved with. May have been involved with that company. Who knows? Allegedly. But I don't know. It's such a weird thing. But to your point, regardless of what was going on with that company, it's not a good thing that they're going under. It's not a good thing at all, because they were making some good guns, and people respected the name, they respected the people that worked there, and they liked the guns. The fact that they are gone, it just puts the AK community in a worse spot than it was already in. The AK community is not in a great spot right now. The guns are more expensive than they have ever been. Ammo, because of sanctions, it's so hard to get right now. You kind of have to get into 5.56 AKs, and some people, that makes them throw open their mouth a little bit. So a lot of people are finding it difficult to find any reason to get into AKs right now. And this one company that just had all the momentum making 100 series AKs, the fact that they are gone is just like, damn, what little wind is still in those sails just deflated a little bit more. And the AK community just needs more something. And KUSA really had that something, so it's not good that they're gone.
So interesting, because and this is for Klay and Rachel. I'm curious because I've learned a lot more about AKs. I've met a lot of people in the industry now, and it seems like, yes, we have less importers, but we also, and I've talked to Matt about this, we have more people in the US making US AKs now, and there's some great ones out there. And yeah, there are some people doing 5.56 AKs, which, if you like it or love it, whatever, that's your own opinion. But like, isn't that a good thing for the AK community as well? I get the imports are dwindling, but like, we have a lot of people in the US now making some really nice AKs. And isn't that a good thing though, that we're doing that part?
I say yes.
Yeah.
Most of them are using Polish parts.
Mhm.
Most of them. You have very few of the. When we say making, there's like a couple different meanings to that. You have like building kits using foreign parts, and then there's like full-blown manufacturing and then making guns out of those parts manufactured here.
Right.
Very few, other than maybe PSA and Sentry to a point, are really manufacturing every little component, or at least outsourcing it from other American companies, and where all those parts are made here, assembled here, you get a full-blown American-made AK. That part's kind of rare. When you have companies like Meridian Defense, Krebs, Fuller, all these like high-end boutique builders, the majority of them are still relying on Polish parts.
Gotcha.
Because that's a NATO ally, we're probably never going to lose those parts. Fingers crossed. But it's absolutely a good thing. In fact, I know Matt talks about this all the time. I see him on Facebook stirring up the drama.
Oh, okay, Boomer. Facebook.
A parts kit built by skilled American hands is probably going to be a better AK than you could have bought imported. That's just the way it is. The tools we have access to, the attention to detail, hand selecting these parts, and then providing other parts to enhance it. Some of these boutique AK builders are building the best AKs that have ever been available in this country, period. That's just the way it is. Might not have the collectability of a nice real like bone stock import.
Right.
But if you are just talking about the quality of a shootable AK, Americans do it better than anyone else, with the help of foreign parts.
Yep.
I mean, that's cars, that's a lot of other things. And it's interesting you said, because I mean, we know a couple guys, one gentleman that has been selling AKs to a police department now, and that's their go-to rifle. And he has sales.
Someone's wearing his t-shirt right now.
Yeah, shout out Andrew Syndicus.
So I mean,
shout out Andrew.
But I mean, that's awesome. The fact that there's a police department that decided, yes, this rifle is it's to spec. It's a 5.56 rifle, but it's built to where they trust it, and it's an AK platform, and it's being run in this country by police departments, and that's awesome. I mean, that shows that's a huge jump in the AK platform, because there are a lot of haters out there. Unfortunately, I have a lot of friends in the AR world that still hate on AKs, and it's like, well, why are you doing that? Because is it just based off ignorance? Because a lot of times it is. Like, I think the AK is a great platform, and I think a lot of people that are very AR driven, red blood American, like, they just don't understand. Like, it's an amazing platform. It's actually great to suppress if you do it right. And I love shooting suppressed. So I think that has a lot of ways that we can still move forward with this awesome platform and modernize it. But then also there's a collectability of it. I think there's both. I think there's the collectors, which get mad about certain things, which is okay, cool. And then there's the people that want to move into the modern era with the AK, which I think is amazing. And you can have both. And Reddit, I'm going to pick on Reddit, seems like,
oh, please do.
They just hate on everyone. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, they bully Matt. They don't bully me. I don't go on there.
No, I'm just saying in general they do.
Matt kind of asks for it sometimes.
I do ask
He
for it.
knows exactly what he's going to get when he posts some of those posts.
I do know exactly.
So I was going to say, honestly, I kind of want you guys, your take on it, because I've never asked you, I guess, directly, but for both of you, Klay and Rachel, like, what drew you to this platform?
I've talked about this quite a bit, so I'll try to give you like the short story, but I completely pick up what you're laying down. And I think when a lot of people get really ate up with AKs, you can't help but like start really investing in the history and seeing that this is such a simple firearm that has been copied, 100 different ways. You can see it in 100 different guns even today. And even the AK, even Mikhail himself would say he saw the M1 Garand and said, I'm going to turn that upside down and make something else out of that. Like, he was heavily influenced, and so many guns are influenced from an AK today. But I think what really got me into it was total like AR fatigue. That era of just, I could have everything sent to my house possible. When it really became very easy, the Spikes Tacticals and the Brownells and all these companies had every little part that you needed. I could not stop. I'm going to use this word loosely, building AR-15s. I was slapping them together on my coffee table. Right? Remember our tiny little apartment?
Yep.
Slapping them together on our coffee table with like no tools. And I was like, oh, I built this. And I was so proud of it. And I wound up with a closet full of these things. And it was just, there was like no passion to it anymore. I was completely bored of it. There was nothing unique, nothing special to me anymore, because it's like, it was such an easy gun. Everything about it was so easy. It just sort of got dull. And but
I see that.
It's so good. It's such a good platform. It just had that effect on me. I'm like, I feel like I have no training. Like I'm shooting with training wheels on. Everything's too easy, too boring. And then I remember taking my old Wasser out and really kind of reinvesting some time with it. And I'm like, damn, this thing makes me feel like I'm a terrible shooter. Yeah. I feel like I don't know how to reload anything. I can't hit the broadside of a barn. I don't know how to zero it. Why the hell are my threads backwards on my muzzle brake? What the hell is left-handed thread pitch? Like, everything about it was so different. And I remember finding like AK Operators Union. I found videos of Jim Fuller and just the very few channels that were doing some AK stuff here and there. And there was just something about it. It was such a wildly different experience from all guns at that time, which was basically AR-15s. It was so different. It was a combination of that, and I didn't see a whole lot of people doing it. I never went to the range and saw AKs. It was a sea of AR-15s. I loved being the only dude at the range with an AK. Then I loved being the only dude that would compete with an AK at like local matches. Very few guys were doing it. And when I finally started like getting close to winning with an AK, that's when it just kicked it into high gear. I'm like, holy shit, like this feels so special.
Yeah.
This is so different than what anyone else is doing with ARs. I'm so bored of ARs. It feels so good to shoot an AK well because it's so much harder than an AR-15. It was so much more satisfying. And I just like chased that dragon ever since then. I wanted to try to be the best I could be on an AK because it was hard. And back then there just weren't a whole lot of people doing it. So it felt so unique and special. And I've just sort of never lost that. Even today, dude, I'll shoot a match just for AKs. Everyone's got an AK there. I still walk away going, God damn, that would not have been as fun if I brought an AR-15. It just wouldn't have been. It would have been easier. I would have had better times. I would have been more accurate, 100%. But I would not have felt like I just drove across country in a Corvette with the windows down the whole time, stick shifting. Like it was just different. It's so much more satisfying. And I know I rambled, but dude, that's just what it is. It's so much more visceral and satisfying when you really nail it and you get good with them. And it still to this day feels unique to me.
Remember those little matches you would go shoot in Corpus, and then you and Chris would be the only ones out there with AKs?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? And then like, it was just like a good feeling as like shooting different caliber in the gun, and people were like, what's that? And they'll have all questions about AK-47.
Oh, dude, seeing all these FUDs when like Chris or I would get pulled up to get the podium trophy, and everyone's like, "They did what?" And Chris would come up there with his Sam 7.
Gun. Yeah, that's not an American gun.
It was. Dude, it was like eating gypsy tears. I love that feeling. It was like a drug, man.
I loved it.
Winning local matches with an AK when you're the only AK out there, and people just did not see it coming. It was like a drug, dude. It was addicting.
Okay, my turn. That's how I feel about it with me. So, first of all, it's so much fun in ARs. No offense. Sorry about that. I was trained on ARs the first time. Klay signed me up for my first carbine match. I was so scared. And so I was the only girl in there, and I shot with an AR-15. And so I got the hang of, because I didn't grow up with guns at all. My parents didn't, none of that. So when I met Klay, he's like, well, I'm just letting you know, I'm into this. Hope it doesn't scare you away. I'm like, no. Well, how do you hold it? And can we go to the range or whatever? Can we do something with it? And so we went out there and I shot with it. And he's like, okay, gonna sign you up for this carbine match. You'll be fine. It was all right. And then maybe we just started doing like dry firing in the backyard with an AR. And so we're dry firing everything. And he's like, all right, we're going to get you on AKs. I'm like, okay, what's an AK? So he puts this big ass AK in my hand. I'm like, I got to train with this. He goes, yup. So we went to the range all the time, dry firing, just putting little matches here and there, everything. And I'm just like telling myself, this is so much fun. It's a lot funner. And I guess I just started making Instagram with it. And it's so crazy. Like, it made me feel like I had more confidence in myself, as in a small girl out there shooting an AK-47. And then it's so funny of me still doing it to this day. Like, for instance, we went to NRA back in like May this year. Mm-hmm. And this story is just hilarious to me because I just feel like guys will just not really judge women. She's like, oh, she's just a girl, just want to hold this pretty KP9 that says Barbie on it. And so I saw it and I was like, oh, cool, whatever. And I walked past and the guy goes, hey, you want to take a picture with this Barbie KP9? I'm like, sure. So I just start taking the mag out, making sure it's empty and everything. And like, I freaked him out. Like, he's never seen that before. He's just like, oh shit, she knows what she's doing with that. And I'm like, yeah, I can guess.
Oh, not a gun bunny.
Yeah, no. not a gun bunny. But
yeah, she won't give herself enough credit in that moment, but that happens to her all the time.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys know, girls don't have it the best in like the shooting space. They're either a gun bunny or, hey, you're just shooting your boyfriend's guns. Like, guys don't give a lot of respect to girls when they go out and do this kind of thing. Post a picture of them holding a gun on Instagram. Like, dude, chicks get attacked on there. Like, the only reason I know that is because if people don't know she shoots, I see the messages. I see friends of hers that pose with guns and they're instantly labeled as gun bunnies.
Yeah.
Even though her and a lot of these chicks sign up for defensive carbine classes, shoot matches, own their own firearms, don't even have a husband or a boyfriend. But people are really quick to label these chicks as gun bunnies, dude. And a lot of that is rightfully so. A lot of chicks are that way. Yeah. But, man, when people do, like, underestimate her, and we'll go to these range days or something, and, dude, she'll do some crazy shit with an AK and bang steel and freaking do a 1-to-1 in 3 seconds, a 1-to-1 reload. People are just like, yeah, damn! Like, they don't see it coming. And for her, I love that feeling because it takes people off guard. And for me personally,
I love that feeling.
It's like she said, when we met, she'd never even like held a gun. I hid that from her that I had guns. There was just a closet that I never opened in the apartment. And see, that's shit. That's been 11 years ago now, babe.
Yeah.
11 years ago to you now, it's like a completely different person in regards to like confidence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, yeah. I love seeing her get that confidence boost when she shoots a match and people are like, damn, man, she did good. Like, I love that for her, that she gets that confidence boost. It's a good feeling for me. Like, I'm living vicariously through her when she goes out and does well with these guns at these matches, specifically AKs. Because a lot of girls don't go out and shoot AKs, and it's just, I love that, man.
Rachel I was going to say Rachel's a big inspiration of my wife. She's 5'2", not very big, and she loves AKs. She's about it, and She she shoots a 30 cal rifle, and
Oh, yeah.
she's like, I freaking love Rachel. She kills it. She's not as fast as you, but she catches people off guard. And she's also the manager at a pawn shop, and people come in all the time like, oh, let me talk to a man about some guns. And she's like, I'm the gun person here.
Yeah, I'm the gun person, exactly.
I'm the gun person here.
So I bet that makes her feel so good. That's awesome.
It does.
I love that. I love that because when I before you guys came on, full transparency, before you guys logged in tonight as Matt's finishing up that shot, I do want to say that I said, we need the Jim Fullers, we need the Mark Krebs, we need all of the quote unquote old school guys. We need them for another 25 years. We need them.
Amen.
We need them. But
Absolutely.
I kind of said, well, man, if this was kind of like I don't know, if we were over in England and this was kind of like,
oh yeah, we coined you guys in the intro.
Hierarchy, like you guys are like the Duke and Duchess of the AK world. It's something that's passed on. You guys are, what I appreciate is you guys are willing to, whether you've thought about it or not, it seems like you guys are willing to take that torch if it's passed.
I mean, it's going to be passed. I think it is.
I mean, it's going to be.
You don't have a choice. I don't think neither one of you has a choice.
Well,
I think
any torch has to be passed. Unfortunately, you don't like thinking about it. You don't want to talk about it. We're not going to get into that because everybody that's that you guys grew up watching that's still around. I mean, they're going to be here for another 100 years, and it's not even up for discussion. But you guys are the next in line. So as well as many other people that are definitely worthy of being the AK people.
But the next generation is definitely starting to grab some spotlight.
Yeah.
I like the definition of that for Klay and I. We like to help people make the AK community fun. And so we make it fun for them. Like, we'll get feedback as like, oh, I love y'all's content and everything. And we're like, oh, I really like what you guys do and everything. Well, what I like to reply to them, like, well, we like to share our hobby to the world. We like to show people it's fun too. You can have fun with it. And of course, be safe and all that. But I get it. Like, a lot of people don't see a lot of couples doing that. And I get feedback of a lot of like my girlfriends in the AK community now. They'll reach out and be like, man, I'm just so happy that I can talk to you about this. I've been watching your videos and stuff with you and your husband, and you gave that confidence for me, and it makes me feel so good. Like, I don't know. I'd never thought in my life I would do this ever.
No, y'all like the Jay-Z and Beyonce of like the AK.
Yeah, I mean, it's
that.
I mean, it's simple.
Well,
it's Klay and Rachel,
Stefani and Gavin Rossdale before the split. Like, there you go.
I think it's safe to say that Klay and Rachel are making AKs great again.
Well,
God,
I don't know about all that, but what I can say is, I get a ton of messages from dudes that are like, "Bro, how do I get my old lady to shoot with me?" I get that message all the time because Rachel's in so many videos with me shooting. We go to every match together. We literally do everything together, and I know this is going to get gushy, but. Who is everyone on this podcast married, or at least you got make a significant other?
Happily divorced.
Well,
Adam's single. Don't worry about him.
I'm single. Yeah, I'm single.
Yeah, well, Adam's single. Everybody else, well, me and Matt, we're married, not to each other.
I'll look up some AK for you.
I guess I'm sorry to hear that, Adam.
They're probably in my DMs already. Don't worry, Rachel.
Yeah, hop in Adam's DMs.
Probably.
So, but as far as marriage goes, one thing I have learned, and dude, my dad and my stepmom to me are like the beacon of like the absolute perfect marriage. What I learned from my dad a long time ago, he and my stepmom did everything together. Whatever her hobby was, his hobby was, and vice versa. Dad got into bow fishing. She was there filming all of it. Dad got into street racing, four-wheeling, whatever the hobby was. They did everything together for years, and they documented all of it. We had stacks of VHS tapes my whole life. I've seen my dad, 21 years old, street racing on Rankin Road back in the early 90s and late 80s. Like, I've seen all this footage, and she was right there filming all of it. They've always been together, and he would always say to me, and I tell this to anyone, like one of the best pieces of advice of finding like the right lady, he said, me and your stepmom, It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I can go to a shit stirring contest. If I tell her that's what I'm going to go do, she would say, like, she'd be like, yeah, where's the spoon? I'll help you. Like, I'll come to a shit stirring contest with you. It's like, it doesn't matter what it is. She's like, ride or die. She's down. And I mean, I'm to the point now, like, I don't really like going to competitions unless Rachel's there. It happens very, very seldom do I go to a match where she can't go. I've just got a bit more vacation time, but we do every match together, SHOT Show, NRAs, everything. She's always there. YouTube would not work without her holding the camera, being there, supporting me all the way. I couldn't do that by myself. Wouldn't want to, dude. So when all these guys reach out and they want to get their girlfriend into shooting, their wives into shooting, my best piece of advice is, dude, like, if shooting is really what you want to do, if it's one of your biggest hobbies, you have to get her involved, because she is going to hate sitting there like a bump on the log at the range, not doing anything. She's not going to want to go to a match and watch you compete all day with nothing to do. She's probably going to be the only chick there. She's not going to have anyone to talk to. If you're not going to get her involved or at least attempt it, she's probably not going to get into it. And that's just all this time that if you really do like spending time with your wife or your husband or whoever's listening, it's a good way to spend time together. If shooting was my thing, I would never see her, dude. My day job keeps me on the road Monday to Friday. I'm in and out of hotels constantly. If I'm not doing that, I'm at the range doing YouTube stuff, or I'm getting ready for the next match. If she didn't do that with me, I'd never see her, dude.
Yeah.
So it was a necessity to me to get her involved, and thankfully, it's just a better way for us to spend time together. So I've seen the guys, dude. I've seen the guys at the range and their wife just doesn't want to be there. I've seen the guy at the match, and I can tell his girlfriend is over it. She does not want to be there. There's nothing there for her to do. She's just there watching. Involve them. Get them started on a little PCC. Maybe something really easy to handle. Bring them to a super easy, like, bare bones match. They'll get through it that one time, and if it goes well, that bug will bite them, and they'll go, oh shit, that wasn't that bad. People cheered for me, like, oh damn, that was like a dopamine drop. I get it now. I get why you want to do this all the time. I want to do it with you. And that's how I got her into it. So that's my best piece of advice, dude.
Oh yeah.
Just try to involve them as much as you can.
Absolutely. I love seeing that at matches too, of like wives out there and just like, it's my first match and I don't know what to do. I'm like, just feel confident, just do it. Go slow as you can if you want, and all that. And then if you're just cheering on for them and just being so nice, they definitely want to come out again and try even better, you know? And like Klay said, of course, but
that's the key. I mean, it's the positive reinforcement, whether it be with your wife, whether it be with your child, whether it be with a competitor that you're in a match against. Just that's what I love the most about this realm, is that, yeah, if we all go sign up and we sign up for an event against each other, we're all competing against each other. But after I run my event and I take my serious face off, I'm there to support everybody else, because what I've done, that's the best I can do that day. So there's nothing more I can do. Now it's like, all right, I'm going to root the rest of these guys on, because if I've ran the best time, yeah, pat myself on the back, but somebody one up me. Let's see that. And if you can't, then it's my day. But I think all this stuff kind of happens by luck or happenstance anyway, is whether you win or you're not. I mean, yeah, you can definitely train and you can be the best there is, but if everybody else is doing the same thing, everybody needs a little luck. So I think that I love seeing that camaraderie and that support in the community. So I think that's great.
Anybody who's willing to pick up a gun and pick up their weapon that they own and take it out and legitimately train with it or legitimately compete is already in the top 5% of gun owners in the nation.
Bro, you're in the 1% of gun owners doing that.
Oh,
yeah,
easy.
Yeah, so it's like you should encourage any American who's out there trying to develop skills to learn how to use their weapon.
Speaking of competitions, let's talk about the next upcoming competition, because I'm excited about this one. And actually, Klay, I wanted to talk to you about this because I know it's here in Texas. It's close to where we're all at, and Lethal Weapons is coming up, correct?
Yeah, Danny Glover and Mel Gibson. I heard something about those guys.
They're back with a vengeance.
Oh, dude! Like, I'm totally LARPing as Tommy Vercetti from Vice City.
Yes,
I already got it all picked out, dude.
Yes.
No, it's thank you for bringing that up, and I appreciate you giving me a platform to talk about that too. That is the next one. It's coming up in October. This is a little different than KB, as in same range, but it's not just AKs. I mean, it's any retro firearm, any gun that existed pre-1986 in some form. That's the only thing that's allowed. And I'm telling you, dude, last year, I remember walking up on a bay last year and seeing just a squad of 16 dudes on one of the stages. In one squad, I saw Daewoo K1s, K2s, an M1 Garand, HK91, a freaking SIG 551, like a real Swiss one with the full-length barrel. A guy shooting a transferable Uzi that he owned, and a grease gun, and I saw a Thompson. I'm like, this is one table?
There's
crazy. Like 300 people here. And bro, I remember watching a dude rocking and rolling with a Garand on a running gun stage, full sprint, bop, 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 ping, jam, bop, 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 all the way to the end, and pulling out of a bandolier. And I'm just like, you just don't see this shit at matches. This is like taking a time machine back to the Soldier of Fortune matches that happened in the 80s. You just don't see this thing anymore.
Heartstring, Soldier of Fortune.
That was the whole, dude, that Soldier of Fortune is what kind of gave me the idea for this match. Like, what really tickles my nutsack these days is retro guns. And if you think back to the 80s, if you were to walk in a random gun shop, think of the guns that were on shelves in the 80s, like pre-ban. You'd see freaking Galil AR rigs,
oh, yeah.
dude. If I need to slow down, tell me, because I will. I don't want anyone to have an accident. You'd see Madi AKs, you'd see like Type 56Ss.
I'm going to come.
A1s, maybe you saw an A2. A2 would have been the new hotness at the time, but you would have seen the gnarliest shit. And it was just normal. So imagine a match happening in the 80s. Like, it's basically that. Only guns that would have been around at that time. And we have an 8-stage subgun match and an 8-stage rifle match all happening in tandem at the same time. So there's 16 stages all going on, all with retro guns. If every ticket sells, there's going to be like 600 dudes out here shooting guns that never get shot at competitions anymore. At a competition.
Hopefully girls, too. A lot of girls. Yes, not just dudes.
It's our goal.
KB and Lethal Weapons pulls a lot of women. I'd say we probably have the highest percentage of females as far as a gun event goes than a lot
I need
of
to be there then. Okay, I need to be there.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Adam, you're a one of the what do they call it? You're a tomcat on the prowl. You need to go.
Sorry, wrong part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you need to show up in an OD Army shirt and
I want to talk. Yeah,
yeah.
So I'll be honest,
show up in your I don't know, Canadian tuxedo's all denim. I don't know what an Adam tuxedo is, but
don't you worry, I can dress myself quite well.
Dude, like, I'll tell you what, Adam, friggin' dress like what's the kid's name? What's from? No. What's the guy's name from the first Terminator? The guy that comes back.
Oh, John Connor.
John Connor. Okay,
John
here's
Connor.
the thing. No. What's his dad's name?
Oh.
I guess what I'm getting at is
drinking. I'm going to go with.
I guess what I'm getting at is you need to go to Lethal Weapons, and the first Sarah Connor that you find, you walk up to her, dude, and you say, "You come with me if you want to live." All right.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
How many Sarah Connors were at Lethal Weapons last year? Like 6, Rachel?
It was me, Alexis,
Sarah Connors everywhere.
Wife Heather. It was like 4 Sarah Connors.
Dude, we were tapped out on Sarah Connors. They're everywhere. So if that's your chick, dude, go to Lethal Weapons.
I'm game to go there. I'm game to rock it out. The thing I was going to tell you is I would love to compete, but I'm one of these guys. I don't have any retro guns. I need a retro gun to borrow.
Put a carry handle on it, bro.
Bruh.
Yeah, just throw it on there.
H&R, $1,000. Boom, you're good to go.
Okay, cool. Either way, I want to come out there. I want to support you guys, so I want to talk to you offline about that. But when is this event? When and where exactly?
It's October 18th, 19th, and 20th in Eagle Lake, Texas at the Ranch TX Club. Same venue that KB happens. Mm-hmm. You can buy tickets a few different ways. Each match, it's 8 stages in a day. So what's interesting this year, we're kind of taking a page from the Kalashnikov book. Each day is its own match, and we have an award ceremony at the end of every day. So if you buy the Friday pass, you shoot 8 stages, we have an award ceremony, we crown our champions. We do the same thing Saturday and the same thing Sunday. You buy your tickets a la carte. Maybe you just want to shoot the subgun match on Friday, and you want to shoot the rifle match on Saturday. You can shoot 16 stages and shoot 2 different matches in a weekend.
It's a lot of
you
shooting.
can shoot the same match twice if you want to in a weekend because we close scores out at the end of each day and crown our champions.
Nice.
That's awesome.
How has the response been at the events, whether it be KB, whether it be the previous Lethal Weapons or any other competitions you shoot? How has the reception been when you go in there and you're one of the women that are shooting? How has the reception been? Has everyone been very open and very supportive of you?
Yes, I would think so.
Hell yeah.
They see it as a confidence thing. Like, if she can do it, I can do it. And I have a lot of guys reach out to me about that too, because they're afraid to get out there and do it themselves. Like, there's a lot of guys that reach out to me and said, "Hey, I've never competed in a competition. No offense, but you're a woman and stuff. How would that make it easier on me to just go out there and do it? Like, I'm afraid to." And my reply every time, I'm just like, "Put your purse down and just go do it."
Ooh, hell yeah. Matt, you hear that with your Louis? Put your damn purse down.
Yes,
And go do it.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I mean, I love that because I'm not trying to turn it into like, well, partially, yes, I am trying to turn it into a female empowerment thing. But at the same time, I think all of us can agree here that I mean that in the right way. I mean, holding the gun and taking the picture, yeah, that belongs in print ads and that helps sell guns. But in reality, if you're not, if you don't know how to operate that weapon and you don't know how to properly shoot that weapon, or more importantly, like you said earlier, clear that weapon and know that it is safe for handling.
Right.
That's a big deal. Whether you're a lady or you're a man, it doesn't matter. And I think that seeing you guys out there now, Klay said earlier he was going to get sappy. I'll get sappy for a little bit. I think that it's so refreshing to see a couple like you guys that, that go out and do this stuff together, whether you're just the camera person or whether you are actually competing with him. The old Christian saying, the family that prays together stays together. But I also think that in this, with the guns, I mean, like, the family that slays together stays together. You guys are out there, sharing the joys and the wins, sharing the joys and the losses, sharing the joys in the screw ups with the reloads. And then when you get those perfect reloads and it's the the rock and lock and you're back in it, like, you can't repeat that. And I mean, what does that mean to you as far as the husband-wife dynamic, like having a hobby you can share?
Support, patience, for sure. You got to be patient.
Why are you saying that? What are you talking about?
Seriously?
I'm like the most patient guy ever.
You have to be patient. Like, you have to. And it just takes a lot. Like, let's say, I've seen this in person. I'm not going to call names out or anything, but I can tell when people are new at shooting, they have their finger on the trigger. And I always run up to them like, keep your finger on the trigger until you're ready to shoot. It's okay. I'm not yelling at you or anything. We're all here to be safe. I'll use my best friend for example. She wanted to come to Kalashbash. Was it last year or the year before that? I think it was it was the year before that. She couldn't come this year. She went in support and she's like, I'm really afraid, Rachel. I'm never around guns. I'm scared if I'm going to hold it wrong and people are going to like yell at me and everything. I'm like, all you got to know is keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Okay. And do not point the gun at anybody. And, so I was there with her and I saw a lot of other women out there for the first time. And, if they see a woman who is really comfortable and knows what they're doing with the firearms, they'll feel comfortable and they'll see me in the same room with them. Like, oh, there's Rachel. Oh, I'll grab her real quick. I feel comfortable around her. Maybe she'll show me how to do this, hold this right and everything.
Yeah,
and
Rachel won't mansplain to me.
That makes me feel so good too. And
you guys don't want to get pulled into a Victoria's Secret, right? And have to sit in the corner and feel weird the whole time.
I've never felt weird. I'm very comfortable.
Yeah. All right, Adam. But you guys know what I'm talking about.
I walk in there and choose stuff.
If
it weird, I'm putting.
If Rachel made me walk into some boring female store and she's in her element, she's like, "Fuck yeah, I'm looking for the other dude that's on his phone sitting on a bench that doesn't want to be there. I'm like, bro,
He's holding a
is
purse.
this seat taken? Like that. I don't want to be the only dude in there that's like suffering through that. Dude, it goes the same way. Obviously, these gun events, this gun thing is male dominated. It's a lot of dudes, right? I mean, just kind of put yourself in these female shoes. They come out there, and what if they're the only friggin' chick around, and they're not really that comfortable with guns? The last thing that she wants is some big dude barking at her about, hey, get your finger off that trigger, or do this, do that, or it's got to be such a turnoff to want to be involved in any of that stuff. So when a girl goes to this thing, the second she sees other women there having a good time that might have some confidence on some firearms, that alone, like, is infectious. It's contagious. And I'll tell you, dude, when I first got Rachel into guns, I did all the mistakes, dude. Like, I would be so hard on her. I would criticize her so much about being safe and how to hold a firearm. And eventually, an old guy gave me a piece of advice. He's like, hey, you want the secret to a successful marriage? Have someone else teach your wife how to shoot, and then try again. And dude, I that's another really good thing to do. Like, sign her up for a class where someone else is there teaching. I mean, you guys know how it is. Your wife can talk back to you. You can talk back to her. Y'all are in a relationship. Y'all can get really snappy with each other if things aren't going well. If I've got a teacher teaching me something, that person could be saying the same shit my significant other has been trying to tell me for a year. If the teacher says it, I'm like, wow, no one's ever really put it that way before. And I'm like way more receptive to it.
Yeah.
So that definitely worked on her. And dude, I see Rachel pull girls to the side at these events, at matches or whatever, and like in a female voice, hey, this is how you hold this thing. Muzzle control, that means don't point that shit at anyone. The 180, just pretend it's always there. And like a girl hearing that from another girl, to me, just goes so much farther than a dude barking at her, or her husband saying it, or her boyfriend saying it, who's just like tired of saying it. Hearing it from another girl is way more effective on a female that's new to this kind of thing. So as far as like empowering women, dude, the girls that are already in it have to be those ambassadors. They have to be present. They have to go to this stuff. So the girls that are putting in that time and effort, I got a lot of respect for them.
That's all.
Because they're bringing more women in than any guy could ever do it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Let's talk about third pin thread just for a second. Like, we got to rep it. You know, looking at everything, I've looked online, you know, the hats, the shirts, anything. If you want to support, Klay, if you want to support Rachel, if you want to support the AK community, Kalashbash, Lethal Weapons, all of that, it all grassroots starts at Third Pin Threads.
Because Klay doesn't sell ball sack razors.
Yeah. So,
hey, like Leviathan's such a dirty word these days. Just saying.
Yeah, let's talk about Third Pin for a minute. You know, let's give us your best 5 minute sell on that.
Klay, you're great at that.
And
also Tony.
When I first started all the social media stuff, like I had people all the time saying, bro, there's got to be a way to monetize this stuff and make money. Like, how much money you making on YouTube? I'm like, people make money on YouTube? Like, that was so foreign to me.
No, we don't.
We're waiting to find out. We haven't found out yet. So
right. And like, I remember I would cringe at certain ad reads I would see, and I'm just like, man, like some people will just read anything. And I don't know, to me, and hey, I don't disrespect anyone's hustle at all.
No,
however you choose, it's capitalism. However you choose to make money on social media is your thing. But I didn't want to do the Patreon route. To me, it just didn't really seem. I'm like, what am I going to do on Patreon? I'm not offering anything that anyone else isn't. It's just, I feel like I'm just sort of asking for money, and I don't have the time to like do early stuff on Patreon. I don't want to do it. Yeah. And you know, my business partner Tony and I thought, well, I mean, t-shirts. Everyone seems to have t-shirts, so we got into the t-shirt game, which. Another one, it's like, dude, it was like throwing a concert. I thought I knew what selling t-shirts would be like. It's difficult, dude. It's not an easy business at all.
It's not.
But what I love about it is all this content. It's like it's so expensive. Filming these videos, the ammo, everything about it is so expensive. So to have something that helps offset a little bit of that cost, that puts something back in the viewer's hands, like a t-shirt. I'm not asking for like $20 on a Patreon, or let me talk to you about some ball sack razors for 60 seconds.
Money.
Yeah, give me some free money. It's like, if you want to, I got hats and t-shirts, and we have artists that work really hard on that artwork, and that directly affects me. And I actually am 50% owner of the company. It's not someone else that's paying me to say this. Like, I've got skin in the game. And so to me, if I'm going to read ads on the channel, I thought it was best that I had some skin in the game. So that's kind of where Third Pin Threads was born. And it's been like 5-6 years ago since we made Third Pin Threads. And dude, you talk about like, feel like someone punches me in the gut, dude, but in a good way. I'll go to like random events or even like local gun shows. I'll see a Third Pin hat bouncing around or a t-shirt, and I'm like,
that shit makes
damn,
you
dude.
Like, that's my shirt, dude.
It's
So
just
cool.
like, it's like, fuck. Like, I instantly want to go talk to that person and say, like, how did you hear about it? Like, you got to tell me how you heard about the brand, and thank you so much. Like, I feel like I want to buy you lunch right now. Like, it's such a cool feeling knowing that that person cared enough about the content or whatever it is that made them buy the shirt. They cared enough to go like spend $25 on a shirt. I'm like, whoa, that is pretty powerful to me. And I know there's dudes at like such higher levels, but man, when someone buys a shirt because they enjoyed a video, it's very special to me.
That's cool.
So we actually just hired a new artist too. His name's Paul. He's a tattoo artist out of Austin. He owns a place called Stag Arms.
Yeah.
And dude, he was the guy doing tattoos at KB, if you guys saw him.
Really?
And man, so he's like, dude, he is one of those old school, like, Navy tattoos from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, like that quintessential tattoo artist. And he's going to start doing some artwork for us. All the Lethal Weapons stuff that you're seeing, that's all him. He did all that artwork.
Awesome. Yeah, it's rad.
And I feel like we're finally getting to a place where we have an artist that we're finally going to like live with for a little while. Because doing t-shirts is hard to go through artists. Go through 5-6 artists a year.
Some
are unreliable,
so
some are
hard.
flaky.
Yeah. Artists are hard to work with. They are
very hard. It's
very
just constant back and forth. Eventually you'll find that artist where they just sort of get it and they start sending you art going, here's what I'm thinking. And you're like, thank you.
Yeah,
you saved me so much time where I don't have to sit here and draw shit.
Explain it. What we're thinking. Yeah.
We found that guy, and the next batch of shirts coming out are all going to be from him. And dude, it's like not even like anything we've ever done before. Like it's not even tattoo art. I don't even know how to explain it. It's amazing stuff.
He knows exactly what y'all's style is and what ideas you're trying to come up with. He's just like, got it. And then everything he's coming up with is amazing.
He gets it. Like I feel like we're not paying him enough. Like the stuff he comes up with. But
don't worry, he won't show either.
We'll make it. Sounds like we're paying him too much.
And and I love that because Mike and I, Matt, we do our t-shirts for Whiskey and Windage. We have some ideas, but it's always finding that right artist, and like always trying to find like, well, who can do this? We have this idea, but we're not. None of us are truly artistic. We have a little bit of skill, but not that level. And it's like, man, that's the hardest part of it, is having this great idea. Mike and I have talked about it a lot. We have
speak for yourself. I'm artistic. I just can't draw words.
No, you're autistic.
No, Mike.
There it is.
Yeah. And that's a huge part. But also, like, I want to go back, Clay, and you said it because we do it on a much smaller scale than you, but like we see the emails come in for a Whiskey and Windage t-shirt on the website, and it's like, boom, I get the email. I'm like, that's so cool. Some person just order a shirt. It's like, it makes you feel kind of like, wow, they took the time to go on the website and pay money for your shirt. And it does make you feel like
a good feeling.
Yeah,
it's validation that whatever you did that day, whatever that person saw that day, whatever you did was good and it worked. And that person appreciated enough to spend money on you.
Right.
And they're actually getting something in return. You're not asking for free money. They got something for their purchase and it supported you.
Yeah.
That was a good side effect of it.
It's fun because, like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for us, like, I think we've given away more shirts than we've ever sold. But
you kind of have to, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great marketing thing. Like, if you can afford it, give away as many shirts as you can. Put them in as many hands as you can. People with big channels, whatever. You got to give those shirts away at first.
Yeah, you're going to send us your address because we sent
you're about to get some.
And you, like, I understand you didn't reply back because it's like, hey, we kind of got one the same. And I don't care if you cut grass in it or just like, that's your poop shirt. Like, I'm going to send you some shirts, even if you never post them. So we're going to need those.
Well, message me and I'll get all y'all sizes too.
Yeah. But
we'll send you some Third Pin stuff.
Rachel, I do want to ask you because I'm going to ask you a question because I remember this from the last podcast.
Okay.
But I'm also going to throw a shot out and everyone's going to get it. But I'm going to take all full responsibility for this because we're trying to get him on the show too.
Okay.
So I understand also in your full-time work life, you have a lot of guys who are pretty amazed that the content you film, your coworkers, you film and you're shooting full auto.
Yeah.
And you are doing some really cool stuff. And here, talk about your work life. And you don't have to talk about but talk about your work life and how I've heard some funny stories last time with Klay about how like guys are coming in like, hey, you know so-and-so or
I know exactly who you're talking about. I brought that story up to him. He just laughed about it. He's just like, do they ever leave you alone? And I'm like, no, they don't. My job is pretty hectic, but it's so funny because I work around with a lot of cops and sheriffs and all that, constables. And so the position and department I work in, they see my face every day. So it's so funny. When I first started working there, I'll talk about the cops first, and then I'll talk about my coworkers in that actually category with that certain person. So I'll walk in there and they'll talk to me and they'll talk about their guns and stuff. Like, oh yeah, I got this new pistol. I'm training with the cops right now and then going to the range and stuff. And then he's like, what do you recommend? And so I was like, I'll show you. And I show him a freaking video of me shooting full auto RPK. And they're just like, what the heck? Where'd you get that? And so I don't tell them.
Business. So, yeah, this barrel might be too long for you, but they sell them all different sizes.
Yeah, I'm like, just go get one right now. But no.
All different.
But it's just so funny. Like, I'll show them my videos and they're just like, you can do that, but I can't do that. And I was like, you can do that. You just, like I said, you got
to know the right people.
Yeah, you know the right people, too.
Got to pay to play.
So the certain person we're talking about, yes.
It's Brandon. Just say it's Brandon.
It's Brandon.
We already said his name earlier.
Aquaman. I mean, Walmart Jason Momoa. I'm just telling you guys. Emu
That's
Jason
hilarious.
Momoa.
But yeah, they would come up to me and they're just like, how did we get on a subject with Brandon? Oh, they came to my office and they're like, so I heard you're like into guns and stuff. Have you ever heard of Brandon Herrera? And I was like, no, I've never heard of Brandon Herrera. And they're like, what? How? And then I'm like, I'm being sarcastic. And then I'll show them
like
videos.
Handsome, whatever. Like cops are saying that.
Yeah, that too.
To my birthday.
So I'll show them like a video of all of us hanging out with Brandon at the first KB, and they're just like, and I'm like, yeah, that can never get out. And so anywho, they're just like, what's he like? What's his favorite color? Like,
so
how's
dreamy.
smell like? I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I don't know any of all that, but they just funny. Go all out. They love
a lot of
Brandon
cops with man crushes.
Yes, there's so many, and they're just all the time. They're just talking about him, and they're trying to get information out of me about him. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. I'm like, now I know why you're all nice to me, because I know Brandon.
Yeah, well, it's interesting.
Maybe I can work some magic. We'll see.
Yeah, because it's funny that you say that though, but in reality, the 2A realm, the firearms industry is huge, but at the same time, it is the smallest industry ever, because if once you find your clique, you kind of know everybody, and you still learn new people every day. You still meet them, but I love the fact, and that's why I'm so glad you guys came back on, and we still say this every episode, but there's so many outside entities that are trying to tear us all down.
Yes.
That I personally don't care if you're an AR guy, an AK guy, an HK guy, you know, a black powder guy, an archery guy, a slingshot guy, I'm going to throw a rock at you guy. Like, I don't give a damn. Like, we're all together, and, you know, we want to give everyone that platform because we're all, I don't know, I guess we're family, whether we like it or not. We're all family, and we got to support each other. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm so glad that both of you guys came on. We definitely said with Klay last time, we wanted to get you on because we want your perspective as well as we love your dynamic. But we also applaud you guys for the dynamic and the relationship you guys have.
Real
Adam
recognize real.
Yeah, Adam and his Grinder account, hell.
One day I will find my AK queen. Okay.
Yes, you will.
Gas queen. Oh shit.
We
We do need to give a collective shout out though to a friend of the show. He's definitely friends with Adam. Adam shot many competitions with him. You guys both know him. Oh man, the Bexar Mr. Aiden, man.
Baby Aiden.
Oh, baby
I love
AIDS.
Baby Aiden.
I love him.
Gotta shout him
Love
out.
Aiden.
Definitely,
I
have to
love
shout
Aiden.
him out.
He's been so busy. I messaged him, but he's doing his big time stuff. Yeah, me and Aiden met each other at Cedar Ridge Range at a competition. Didn't know who he was, didn't know who I was, and we became friends. And then afterwards, we're like, "Oh, cool, you do that stuff too." And it was just kind of like, "Oh, you're on Instagram too," and we became friends. And I've known Aiden before he got like where he's at now, and I'm so happy for him. So kudos to him.
We've known him since day one. Clay, I think we met him. He came up to us at Kalashbash 2020.
It was KB 2020.
Yeah.
He was much thinner back then.
Yeah.
And he was
Not quite.
He's a big man, and he's a very large man.
Yeah, he was fresh out of the military. I remember he was much thinner, and I met him because he sent me a random DN. He's like, "Man, I'm so afraid to ask, but I'm going to Kalashbash. Can I mail you my ammo and you like drive it out there for me?" And I'm like, "Who's this?" And he hit me up about it over and over, and I finally got it. And I remember that year at KB, I was so busy, and this guy named I Am Horrendous won't stop messaging me about his ammo at the event
5 times, and I was like, "Aiden, I can't leave for freaking."
And remember, he's fresh out of the military at the time.
Yeah,
I go to the campsite, and I'm like, "Horrendous," and he's like, "Yes, sir," and freaking runs full sprint over the truck. I'm like, "I got your ammo."
He watches this. I can't wait till he sees this.
Oh my god!
You got my ammo? I feel so bad for asking, but I kind of need it for tomorrow because I'm shooting the match. I'm like, "I know, get in." I drive him all the way to the clubhouse. We find his ammo. I'm like, "Are you like, you gotta leave me alone now?" He's like, "I got it." And then shortly after that, he is the life of the party at the campsite that year.
Yeah,
in fact, if you watch like KB 2020's sizzle reel, you see Aiden shotgunning beers with the VP of KUSA at the campsite that year. And ever since then, I have loved this guy to death. He is an absolute, like, full-fledged member of our wolf pack. He's that I got to tell one Aiden story. You'll like this.
I love it.
Aiden's a youngin', as you know. How old is Aiden? What is he, like 25, 24?
No, I think
he's in his 20s still. He's late 20s, I think.
I think he's 24.
All right,
he's a baby.
You know, we have these karaoke and roll parties at the house, right? And Aiden comes over, a bunch of other youngins come over.
I was going to say, you had a sausage party last time we talked about this.
It was a sausage party.
Sausage party.
We were talking about grilling sausages, and we made a bunch of penis jokes.
Yes.
Oh, man. I don't know. There's been a lot of sausage parties in my life, but at this time, we had Aiden, there was a bunch of people there. Anyway, we're partying, dude. We're watching all kinds of music videos. We're drinking, and we start doing karaoke. Well, I remember we talk Aiden into doing a song. I do a bunch of songs. Rachel sings. Ethan and Bobby sing, and he's like, "I'll do one. I'll do one right now. Say I won't." I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "You know Motley Crue?" He's like, "Yeah, I know Motley Crue." I put on Motley Crue, Kickstart My Heart. Aiden lied. He's never heard of Motley Crue. He doesn't know anything about Motley Crue.
Baby, I told you.
And he's just sort of like singing at the screen. He's like, "Oh, yeah, Kickstart My Heart." Blah, 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 blah. Whoa, I'm like, "Hold on. Do you not know this song?" He's like, "I've never heard this song before in my life." I'm like, "How old are you, dude? You've never heard Motley Crue?" And dude, he bumbled through the whole song. Energy at level 11.
Hell yeah.
Never heard the song before in his life, and sang until his tonsils blew up. And I was like, "This fucking guy, man."
He's something else. He's charismatic. I love what he's doing. He's doing his like filming his short movies now. Like I love it. I told him, "Bro, next time you make a short movie, dude, let me know. I would love to like join in. I love filming, and I'm happy."
What brings you in the adult film industry?
Yeah,
Adam
he
has
doesn't tell you the next film is is a prawn.
I mean, he is a bear, so.
Well, Klay, we have kind of developed after the last time you've been on. We've always been trying to find our way, and I'm sure we're going to change again and call it audible again. But we do want to ask you guys, if you were given the opportunity to have 5 weapons the rest of your life, just 5, and ammo was not a concern. So whether it be availability or cost, that doesn't matter. 5 weapons for the rest of your life. You only keep 5. What are your
agree with
5?
anything Klay says.
Good answer.
If we had to go to war, he would know.
I'm agreeing with whatever the fuck Klay says. But if you get 5, full auto, NFA doesn't matter. None of the shit matters. Just 5 weapons for the rest of your life. You need an EDC. You need a long range. You need everything.
Or you need 5 AKs.
Cranky, for sure. I want Cranky.
None of my answers are going to be practical at all. None of them are going to be pistols.
I love this. I love
Awesome.
Number 1, a PKM. Doesn't really matter from where. Let's just say a Russian PKM, the upside down AK. If I have all the ammo and the belts in the world, gotta have a PKM. It's the greatest belt. It's the gun of all time. It really is. The PKM is just the one. So absolutely a PKM.
Love that.
I think I could share the ammo, but it wouldn't matter. I think like a super, super nice clean, like a Dragunov. A Russian variant Dragunov would be super sick.
Ooh.
Unobtainium.
And my all-time just dream gun is a SIG 553. Just something about it. It is the gun of all time.
Yeah, you've got the hand guards. You got to get the rest of the gun now.
I got them. The SIG 550 series is hands down just the sexiest. It's they call it the Rolex of the AK. It is just the sexiest gun that there ever was. So PKM Dragunov, a 553.
What?
Where are you at on this anniversary present, Rach?
I've tried. He told me the cost of that one. I was like,
553
no way.
You better start taking pictures of his feet for
a Dragunov and a 553
I told him his feet are cute. He needs to start taking pictures. Klayco's 47.
Klayco's 47.
Klayco's 47. Holy shit.
Yeah. That's
already 3.
Real footage.
God, it'd be so easy just to say like an AK, but I think like a full on. It would have to be 545 if ammo is no issue.
No,
545 is the greatest round there ever was. I would say like a full blown Zenit code out, just a classic like an AK 104 545, 12-inch barrel, full alpha clone with all the 545 I could have for the rest of my life. And finally, just because I'm having a love affair with them,
are we gonna do it like a EDC Draco or something? Like, what's your 5th?
The 5th would be. Just because I've been shooting the balls off one right now, and I gotta say, I fully believe in the hype. I think a full on like Navy contract, full stock MP5.
Oh shit!
Like, the triangle handguard, full stock. That's the one, dude. And I would shoot the balls off of it forever. And those are my 5.
Hell yeah!
We were just at Mike's house, and he's got a sample. It's an AP5, but
it's still bad.
It's a sample gun,
dude. It's a full auto. Hold up. It's a full auto AP5. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And we have a full auto AP5 as well, and I've just never really shot the thing much. And I've been shooting the piss out of it lately, and I'm like, how have I missed this MP5 bandwagon this whole time?
I fell in love when I found Mike's. I fell in love with it. I have so much footage with it, and I just like Mike. I want to shoot this thing all day.
I can never have a semi-automatic roller gun now. Like I just it won't do it.
It's the most pleasurable shooting experience as far as like a subgun goes.
Oh yeah,
nothing feels like that. It's the best subgun of all time, hands down. There's no arguing that.
It's sick. Those are all good choices.
When you guys decide. I was gonna say, what were you gonna say, Matt?
Rachel had some suggestions through that, and so I'm thinking maybe her 5 choices don't necessarily match up. And
Rose
she
Gold
might have
Ruger LC9, number 1.
Hell yeah!
I'm screaming Clay because he knows the best. But I have suggestions too, horse. And I
What you
always
got?
have fun with it. It's the crink. Clay and Tony's Crinky.
You can't go
I
wrong.
get so many people freak out. I shot it Red October 2021, and it made it. Did it make it in a magazine or article? Whose article was it?
Probably both.
I think it was.
What's his name?
Was it TFB TV?
No. It was he
firearms
watched me on
blog or some shit.
YouTube. What is his name? God, man, it'll come to me later. But
Was that
he like
Tito's?
took a picture of me shooting on the stages with it, and apparently like made the article. And he said that.
Oh
was the
no!
coolest-
It was Ivan, Kit Badger.
Kit Badger. Yeah, he thought that was awesome. But of course,
I
Crinky's
was
going to
like,
be
Rachel's
on my
the Kit
list.
Badger channel shooting a crate. This is so cool.
But yeah, so that's what I think.
I love your
So-
guys' Cribs, your Cribs mini barrel. That's one of my
Oh,
favorite.
yeah.
Dude,
That's one of my favorite guns from your collection. That thing is
So many people
fucking sick.
so jelly of it. Like
So jelly.
they started getting the reloader thing on their guns, and they just fell in love with it. Right when we brought it to the range, it was just like, oh my god! Like Aiden, he's just like, I'm gonna get this on my gun. I'm telling you, and he
she's
did.
like, tell Krebs his website
Yeah.
sucks. I just want to buy the reloading parts.
Yeah, yeah.
It
He's
does.
just like, tell his website sucks. Tell her to get on his website.
Before we actually officially close it out, because I'll let Matt close it out, like, we do really want to thank you guys for coming on. I know it's getting late. Thank you so much for coming on. If there's anything we can do more than, just having this show, if there's anything we can do to help you guys with lethal weapons, help you guys with anything else you guys do, please let us know. We're always down to help. We're here for everybody.
Well, we're all here to support each other for sure.
Man.
So you guys let us know what we can do to support y'all. No.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Matt, well, go ahead and close us out, brother.
Our handles where the people can find you.
It's Klayco47 everywhere you look, spelled with a K. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all over the place. Our events, Kalashbash and Lethal Weapons TX, Kalashbash TX, Lethal Weapons TX, have Facebook pages and Instagram channels. That's the best place to find updates on dates and tickets and what the events are. And I talk about them on the YouTube channel too. And I just want to thank you guys for having us on here. I love hanging out with you guys. It's always an instant yes anytime we're invited. This podcast is going to be freaking huge. Just from the last time I was on till now, you guys have had so much growth, so much traction. And that only happens to good things happen to good people. And you guys are really good
Yes,
people. And I'm
love
so
y'all's
happy
energy.
to see this.
Thank you.
You've had some huge names, and it's so cool to see the success of the channel, man.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that.
We just to the next.
And Rachel, if our people want to see more of Svetlana, where can they find her?
You guys can find Svetlana at Richelavella107 on Instagram. I don't have a YouTube channel. I support Klayco behind the camera. I'm the camera girl, and I try to make it happen and make it fun for him. And also find us at Kalashbash, Texas, on our website. You guys can come out to that. But we have an event in October, a match, lethalweaponstexas.com. Tickets are still for sale, so we'd love to have you guys out. And guys, thank you for having me on here.
You're
I
so very
really
welcome.
loved it.
Yes.
My first wife.
My first one.
First one.
All right. Well, thanks again, guys. We appreciate it, and we'll catch you later.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
All right, everybody. We want to thank Clay and Rachel very much for joining us again on Whiskey and Windage. They've been real great friends of the show. Real good to finally get Rachel on, get her to open up a little bit. And we appreciate all the insights. Really looking forward to seeing what Lethal Weapons Texas brings this year.
Yes.
Yeah, man, it's going to be fun. I wish I could make it. Not going to be able to do that. I got to get ready for that Vegas show. I know it's not an excuse, but most everybody here is paying for two if you're going. So it's one of those things. It's priorities right now. Next year, Kalashbash is on the radar, but Adam, you're close. I hope you can make it out.
Yeah, I mean, if I could borrow a retro rifle, AK, which I'm going to talk to Aiden about and see if he has an extra one that I could run, I would love to go there because it's not far from me, and that would be a lot of fun. So
You could throw a carry handle on your flat top. He said that passes the rules.
Does it really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Maybe,
if you put a bolt-on carry handle on your flat top and shoot iron sights, you can compete.
Oh man, I'd rather go with an AK though.
I say you go full retro, just Kentucky rifle, like powder, all.
Musket.
Fuck yeah, this is retro.
1775.
He'd let you do it. He would. He'd let you do it.
1775.
He'd let you do it.
Yeah, like there's no one else in your class. You'd actually win.
Heck yeah. Well, guys, if you made it this far, if you're still watching, we thank you. We appreciate it. Like I always say, go over to YouTube, subscribe, like, comment. It goes a long way. Go over to Spotify, give us a rating over there, 5 stars, because we're worth it, because this show is taking off, and we're putting our blood, sweat, and tears into it. And I personally think it's worth 5 stars. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, dude, I think it's good. And also go check out some of the new shorts we're dropping. When the boys were here in Nashville, we did a whole lot of different shooting. Some of it we can show on YouTube. Some of it we can't because we'll lose our account forever. So, such is life. But yeah, I mean, Adam became obsessed with the 8.6 and probably shot 3 boxes of ammo while he was here. But it was
sorry, Mike. I cost Mike a lot of money.
Yeah, he cost me a lot of money, but it was worth every second. I mean, he was having some fun, and just when you hear that steel, just bling, like.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great time. 8.6 is my future for sure. But I think if you guys have nothing else, I think that's about wraps up for today.
Man, put a bow on that motherfucker, Adam.
All right, let's go. Guys, I would say stay dangerous, carry a weapon. We'll talk to you soon.